What's up, guys? My name's Dean, or as most of you know me, Twisty, and today I'm going to be going through some of the variables in the Don Bradman Cricket 17 file breakdown from the Cricket Academy post by Gurjot95. I hope I said that right, or Gurjo or something. But just remember, none of these things found in the files are official. They are just potentially what we could be seeing in the game. A lot of the stuff is probably bleed over from the rugby league game, so I'm generally going to skip over stuff that I don't think is relevant, but for sure I'm going to get into what I think will be relevant and what could be in the game. So the first thing we look at here is career mode sort of details, and the only real career mode stuff that I can get here is player information. You've got two variables that I think are somewhat interesting, and they are form and popularity. So the reason I think these are interesting is if form is going to be a factor going into sort of a game or a series, or whether or not you get selected in a team, I think that's going to be really interesting because, you know, once you're in sort of that international lineup in Don Bradman 14, you're kind of stuck there. You're not really going to be playing much domestic cricket from then on in. You're pretty much locked into that international side. But I think if you have form into the equation, then definitely it makes it much more interesting, because if you have, two ducks in a row or three bad games in a row, you're out of that team. You've got to then work your way back in, and that's not maybe one good performance, but that's maybe two or three or four good performances to get you back in that good side. So whether or not that's actually in the game, we're not quite sure yet. And the other one's popularity. I think whether or not your team is popular, whether you are popular, maybe that'll get you sponsors if you're popular. And another thing in terms of popularity is money. Like, does money come into that? And there is sort of a career settings thing here, which actually says currency in dollars. Now, we don't know whether or not that's related to the rugby sort of coach mode and things like that. But if for whatever reason, I'm speculating here, for whatever reason you have money involved in the game, then you could be able to buy different bats, buy different, pads or something like that, rather than just having, the same uniform for, game after game after game. I think that'd be cool if you're able to buy different sort of equipment and things like that. I know there's probably not going to be too many licenses for the game, but definitely buying different equipment and maybe better bats, like, could be a thing. I'm not sure. I'm speculating here whether or not money is going to actually be a thing. And there's a bunch of like coaching info details, but I definitely think that is coming over from the rugby league game there. Now we get more into the cricket side of things here, and we can see grading. So in Don Bradman 14, we had our three sort of standard grades. You had domestic and international, and then franchises, which I'll call the IPL and the Big Bash League, sort of, small mini T20 tournaments there. But here we've got club grade. So if you actually start at club level, I think that's going to be one of the most interesting things about this, starting off at club level, with, barely anything to go on. So, you're starting at the club, and then you're working your way up to domestic cricket rather than just jumping into a domestic game. And then the second one is other grade, which I'm assuming is kind of just like a contract sort of thing. So whether you go play for an IPL team or a Big Bash team, that's your other grade. Then you got first class grade. Obviously, that'll be first class cricket, long form cricket, Sheffield Shield stuff, county cricket. There's your first class grade there, and then international grade is the final one there. So obviously, all of your international cricketing things will go on down there. Now we look at seasonal locations. So you've got Australian summer, English summer, Indian summer, South African summer, and West Indian summer. So whether or not these work into your career mode, if you are going to go through all 5 of those summers, or if those are just options. So if you decide to be an Australian, you play for the Australian summer. If you decide to be an Englishman, English summer, Indian summer, South African summer, or West Indian, you play through the West Indian summer. I guess I said summer too many times there, but that's generally what I'm thinking here. And now if we look at stadiums, so that'd be cool if you play through a whole bunch of different summers, or if you play through maybe 2 of them throughout a year of career mode. So that makes it interesting there as well. Now stadiums, we We have 13 stadiums here. The SCG is going to be a licensed ground once again, as well as 2 other Australian grounds. I think we had Melbourne and Adelaide were the other 2 in the first one, or, like, there wasn't really much licensing there. And then there's also the Bradman Oval once again, so that's 3 Australian grounds. And then you got 2 English ones, 2 Indians, 1 New Zealand, 1 Pakistan, 1 South Africa, 1 Sri Lanka, 1 West Indian, and obviously the Nets. So there's no confirmed licenses there apart from the SCG, so we'll have to deal with unlicensed stadiums once again. Now let's keep moving forward. What else can we look at here? We look at on-the-go stats. So this is sort of stats that you can do, or sort of replay related things here. So you've got the obviously match simulation, the big wheel, the big pitch, the big lines, things that you're familiar with, the interactive replay. There's a highlights button, whether or not that's just showing, highlights at the end of the game, like some of the key highlights that happen in the match, or whether you can actually look at game highlights that have already happened, good shots, sixes, things like that. I think that'd be kind of cool. And we also have Ant Vision, which is the big ant review system, sort of LBW thing. And this time around, we've also got thermal vision. Now, whether or not thermal vision, obviously last time it was a part of the Big Ant review system with their DRS thing there, but if thermal vision is part of the interactive replay, I think that'd be pretty cool as well. If you could then look at your thermal vision, which is something we weren't able to do. We could only look at sort of the LBW side of things, but if you weren't sure if like they hit it, then you had to go interactive replay. But if there's a nice hotspot there that we can use, then I think that'd be pretty cool. Now, I'm just trying to look at anything that's interesting else here. There appears to be a lot of career coach rugby-related things that I think people are misinterpreting as Dom Bradman stuff, but I definitely think that they are sort of rugby-related things. So that could be cool. I'm hoping that maybe it'll make an entrance, but we'll wait and see. Anyway, that is it for my file breakdown of things. I know there's probably more that you guys could think that you're going to take out of that, but to be honest, there's a lot of things that don't very much look like they would be included in the cricket game, or whether or not they'd be relevant at all. I think that they're generally sort of rugby-related stuff, so take them with a grain of salt, as I'm saying. I'm going to stop talking about that rubbish because I have no idea of how it works, so we'll let the professionals deal with that side of things. But let me know what you guys think. What are you looking forward to seeing in the game? And that is what I'd like to hear from you guys in the comments. Leave a big thumbs up if you did enjoy today's video. I'm sorry that I didn't have a top 5 use today. I had to kind of rush this out. It's 1 AM when I'm recording this, so thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoy your day, and I will see you guys later.